This is a short but terrifying story of something that happened when I was young. I was Snapchatting a friend. I'm only 13 and still in middle school. A girl I really liked had just recently started snapping me selfie pictures, and we started messaging each other for a few nights. One night when I was watching TV, she sent me a snap of herself laying in her bed without a caption. I sent a message saying what's up. She sent another identical picture, this time with a caption saying, "Not much, you?" She set the timer to 10 seconds, so it gave me plenty of time to analyze the pictures, including her bedroom in the background and the dark outline of a person standing by her window. I quickly sent a response message saying, "Is that your brother by the window?" She sent another identical snap, this time captioned, "What do you mean?" In this picture, the figure at the window was closer, and I could see a hand pressed up against the glass. I closed the snap before the timer even ran out, so I could tell her quicker. I said, "There's somebody at your window. Turn around." She opened my snap almost immediately, and then I didn't hear from her again. I grew more and more worried as the minutes passed. I texted her a few times to no avail. I tried calling her a few times to no avail. I didn't know her phone number, otherwise I would have called her parents. It wasn't until midnight when I was already laying in bed that she finally texted me back. She explained the whole situation. As soon as she looked at her window and saw the person standing there, she screamed, and that caused the person, who turned out to be a 20-something-year-old man, to open the window and jump into the room. From there, she ran to her parents' room and woke her dad, who entered her room to find nothing but an open window. It wasn't exactly a personal story of mine, but it freaks me out nonetheless, knowing that the only thing that saved my friend from whatever could have happened was the fact that I was able to see the window through her selfies, unknowns to the creeper at her window. When you think of Snapchat, the last thing you would think of is a horror story, besides maybe private pictures being leaked. It was almost a year ago. I was a senior in high school and was Snapchatting a few different people on my kitchen table at 10 o'clock. My parents had already gone to sleep. I got a notification from Snapchat. It said, "Snapchat from Hector." I did not know anyone by the name of Hector, so right away it was weird. I should mention I'm a guy, so it's not like random creeps snapping me for a picture or anything like that was a common occurrence. I didn't want to open it up right away because then whoever this was might think I was available for some kind of conversation. A whole half hour went by and I completely forgot about the snap. That is, until I got another one from this Hector person. This time I opened it right away. The first snap was taken in a really dark room and somebody's face was just barely in the picture, though it was way too dark to give a clear description of the person. All I could tell was the person was a bit darker skinned. The next picture was taken outside facing a road. It took me a while to catch on because of the darkness and the graininess of the photo, but there was an arm pointing down the road. I typed, "Who is this?" in the chat. The message was read instantly, but there was no reply. The guy added me, so I added him back. His Snapchat score was literally 5, and he watched all of my Snapchat stories. 5 minutes passed before I got another Snapchat from this Hector guy. I opened it right away, this time a picture taken in the middle of the street. However, I recognized the street he was on. He was only 2 blocks away from my house. Again, I typed, "Who is this?" I knew it was one of my friends messing with me and some kind of throwaway account. I texted a few of my friends who I thought might be doing it. They all promised it wasn't them, but they all found it really funny. I got a 4th Snapchat from this Hector. I found myself getting more and more nervous opening each one. I waited a few seconds and then opened the snap. It was a picture of my blog taken by the old lamppost on the corner. My good friend who lives 2 doors down came over because I was freaked out and wanted him there. He's a big dude, so him and I could take on any person. We sat on my couch with the TV on in the background, staring at my phone, waiting for another snap. Sure enough, the notification pops up with Hector's name on it, and my friend got excited with laughter. I was too nervous to find humor in it. He told me to take a screenshot. This time when I opened the snap, the picture was of my house. It was taken from the front yard. I took the screenshot and we both jumped off the couch and ran to my front door. We looked outside but we couldn't see anyone, so we both put our shoes on and checked outside. I told my friend to stay in the front and I checked the backyard. I got another snap from Hector. I opened it immediately once again, and this time the picture was of the back door to my house. Before opening the gate, I yelled for my friend to come around back, which in hindsight I can now see was a mistake, because as soon as I opened the gate, I saw somebody already running for the gate on the other side of the yard. Me and my friend chased after whoever it was, but it was way too dark to see anything. This Hector guy got away. My friend hung out for another hour or two, and after he left, I went to bed shortly after. Of course, I was rolling around in bed for over an hour in the back of my mind, waiting for a notification to go off on my phone, saying Hector sent you a Snapchat. Eventually, everything faded to darkness, and the next thing I remember was waking up. The first thing I did was check my phone. There were 3 notifications throughout the night, each saying Hector sent me a Snapchat. It took me a while to finally press the button to see the pictures. All 3 of the pictures were of different windows to my house, the 3rd one of my bedroom. I blocked the user and even went as far as to email Snapchat supports to report the guy, to which I got some copy-pasted response, like, "Thank you for your email, we take these matters very seriously," and so on. They proved to be of little help even when I followed up on the matter. I would normally assume whoever did this was a friend, acquaintance, or just some person I barely knew from my grade, but judging by the little bit of skin I saw on the photos and the username, this person was Hispanic, and there weren't any Hispanic kids in my school. It still freaks me out to this day, wondering who the hell this Hector person was, and how he knew my Snapchat and my address. This happened about a month ago, but I couldn't decide if I should post it or not. I'm kind of a paranoid person and didn't know if I was going to deal with something like this again if I post about it. But since it's been about a month and nothing has happened, I thought I'd share it. I would like to point out that English is not my first language, so please excuse me for any errors in the story. Here it is. I'm a 22-year-old girl from Bulgaria studying art in another town. I was back home to my parents' house for Christmas vacation, so this happened a little after New Year's. My parents' house is in a little village near a big town, where I grew up. We moved in the village and we now live in a 2-story house. I was sitting one night in my room, drawing in my sketchbook and listening to some amazing horror stories on YouTube, as I usually do. It was about 2 o'clock and I was immersed in a scary story, not knowing that I would be living in my own horror story real soon. It started with me receiving a notification from Snapchat that someone added me. I was kinda confused, but still opened it and saw that someone with the username Lappy789 added me as a friend. Now, I would like to explain why this is weird to me. I don't use Snapchat anymore, I just have it on my phone for no reason at all. None of my friends use it since Instagram got the story thing and we all started to use that instead. I have very little friends on Snapchat and none of them use it, so I didn't think that it was somebody I know. I don't have my location on or Bitmoji or whatever it's called that can give away my location and username to people nearby. Oh, I also didn't have my username written anywhere on my social media. But moving on. Out of curiosity, I added Lappy789 and opened their profile to see if they had a picture or something that could tell me who this was. There was nothing, only their Snapchat score, which was about 7. I set my phone on my desk and started to rewind the video to listen to the parts that I missed while I was distracted with the phone. As I was getting ready to get back into sketching, I got a notification that Lappy789 sent me a snap. I opened it and there was a picture of grass, taken with flashlight. I looked at it, confused, and then went to chat box to type, "What is this? Who are you?" Lappy789 received it. Then it said that they read it, but they didn't respond. At this point, I started to ask all of my friends if it was one of them, or if they had given my username to someone, but no one confessed. Next snap came and it was a picture of what looked like a red tile. I was growing very impatient, and once again, I texted the person asking who he is and if we knew each other. They saw my message and didn't respond. Next snap came and I was prepared to start screenshotting to show my boyfriend. It was a picture of what looked like to be a doorknob, but I couldn't see what it was exactly. I failed to screenshot it, so I had to replay the snap. Once I got a screenshot of it, I went to look at the picture and realized that this was a little closing mechanism on our backyard. Here are the 2 pictures. The first one is a screenshot, and the second one I took the next day in daylight for you to see better. At this point, I'm slowly realizing that this person is sending me Snapchats from my backyard. And by the way, it's not so easy for someone to come to our backyard, as we have a very tall fence and you have to take your time and scout the place around to find a possible way to climb the fence. And it was dark, so it would be difficult. That to me meant that whoever this was, they have been looking around during the day to find a way to get in. I stood up from my desk and ran to turn off all the lights. I tried to peek through my window shade to the backyard, but it was very cloudy and dark, so I didn't see anything. Next snap came, and like last time, I was ready to screenshot. When I opened the snap, I nearly screamed. It was a picture of the tip of a ceramic abstract sculpture that we have in our backyard. I ran out of my room, not knowing what to do. For some strange reason, I didn't want to wake up my dad and tell him what was going on. My mom was sleeping downstairs on the couch, and I was upstairs, trying to figure out how to open the super loud and screechy door to our terrace without waking up my parents and letting that freak know what I was doing. I battled with the door for about 30 seconds, but I managed to open it quietly and carefully stepped outside to look at the backyard. I didn't see anything. I looked and I looked, trying to stay as low as I can so that snapper wouldn't see me, but I couldn't see anything. I went inside once again, trying my best to be as quiet as possible, when I received another Snapchat from Lappy789. It was a picture of my mom sleeping on the couch, taken from outside through a crack in the blinds. This freak took a freaking photo of my mom. As shocked and terrified as I was, I still managed to screenshot it. At this point, I lost it. I started screaming for my dad. He came out of the bedroom and tried to calm me down, as I was trying to explain to him that there was somebody in our backyard. I could see that he didn't really take me seriously, but he went outside anyways, carrying his gun. My mom was awake now, trying to calm me down as I was hyperventilating, failing to explain to her what Snapchat was. My dad came inside after checking everywhere and said that he didn't find anybody. I showed them the pictures and they seemed disturbed, but said that it was probably a kid or one of my friends trying to mess with us. The thing is that I don't live in a big town that I lived in before we moved to the nearby village. All my friends live either in my hometown or other towns in the country, and I don't know anyone in the village that I live in now. So the idea that it might have been somebody I know didn't seem right to me. I went in my room when I calmed down and checked my phone, remembering that I didn't look if I had new snaps after showing my parents the pictures. I had 3 new snaps from Lappy789. They were a picture of our front gate, which I couldn't screenshot, and 2 messages saying, "See you soon, bye." I immediately blocked the account. I barely slept that night. I texted and called all of my friends, begging them to confess if it was one of them, but nobody did. When I told what happened to my boyfriend, he asked everybody that he knew, but still, nothing. We tried to find the account, but we soon found out that they had deactivated it. There was no one in the name of Lappy789 anymore. I deleted Snapchat that night, and I don't think I'll ever use it again. The next day, I went outside to look around and see if the creep left something behind, and I saw footprints on a little muddy patch near the place that they took the photo of. My dad doesn't seem to believe it was the footprints of the intruder, saying that it was probably one of us stepping there, but I'm pretty sure they weren't ours. To this day, I still don't know who it was. I've asked everyone that I know, but nothing has come of it. I still wonder what their intentions were. Were they trying to scare me? Were they stalking me? Who were they? How did they find me? How did they enter my backyard? Do they still send me Snapchats? I wouldn't know. I deleted the app.